everyone. Head coach Ben Olsen. Ben, another 3 points at home there and two pretty world-class goals.
Yeah, it was a wild one. First half is, I think, a situation where, New England comes in here and has a real desperation about them and a fire about them that we didn't have, and that's a little disappointing. I think, we're lucky to be 0-0. Thought Steve Clark had a very good game tonight. And then the second half looked more like us, but still a lot of tired legs out there. And this was always going to be a really, really difficult game because of the opponent, where they're at, just qualifying for the playoffs. So it's a little bit of a mental exercise that's difficult. So some of that's human nature. And for us to, I think, respond in the second half in the way we did, still wasn't our best soccer, but it was better. We had more to us, and we got the win. So that's the important part right now. And now we got to patch ourselves up and head off to St. Louis, another difficult task. But the win itself is massive. To move up, hopefully it gets us out of that play-in game and I don't know what the standings look like right now, but hopefully that moves us up into there, or at least closer, to put ourselves in the best spot possible.
All right, so Christian up front.
How's it going, Coach? Congratulations, first of all. Well, depending on Colorado, you could move up to fourth. Just throwing it out there. But, yeah.
Well, that would be great.
Ponce gave you 45 minutes in his return. What do you make of his performance, including the goal?
I thought very good performance. We obviously the second half, we benefited from him coming onto the field and having a true forward. In the first half, they were able to keep pushing us because we played with the false nine, and we didn't threaten him behind enough. So things were crowded, and we weren't able to get Amin on the ball, Kowalczyk enough, and Latif. And we missed exploiting how aggressive they were a few times with some good runs. They were there. We just didn't play it. And then Ponce comes and just gives us a different element, right? We needed energy. The front press got better, and obviously in and around the box, in particular, as they were really aggressive, there was a lot of openings. He should have had 2 or 3. He's going to be kicking himself that he doesn't have more goals in this game. However, the goal was a thing of beauty, and Eric's was a thing of beauty. So 2 really good goals, one out of the run of play, one on a set piece, which Kenny Bundy's been helping us out a lot since he's come here, and so that's he's doing a good job of pushing us, and we're getting better on the defensive end on set pieces and chipping in some on the offensive end.
Eric gets on the score sheet after trying and haven't been able to get on the score sheet. How big is that for him personally, and how big is that for the team as a whole?
He gets his head on so many things, and he's so dangerous, and he wants more. He wants more goals and more assists on set pieces, and he should have more. He's got that type of personality, and he's got that ability to win duels in the air. It just hasn't fallen for him. So this is not the way I envisioned him to get his set piece goals. Usually it looks a little bit different than a pop over and a swing into the backside of the net. It was, again, it was a thing of beauty, and we haven't had that enough here at home of big time goals. So that's a really positive thing. 22 shots. It was an even game. I give New England a lot of credit. I thought they came here with a good game plan. They were really difficult to build against in the first half, and then that game could have went either way. But sometimes when you're in the position they're in, it's sometimes the mentality of being used to win or lose is the difference. But they played a really good game tonight. Gil is incredible. He's tortured me for 10 years in D.C. and I thought I could get away with not playing him again.
One more, 2 assists from Coco, and again in that number 8 role. What makes him so dynamic in that position?
I've said it all week. He's different than Hector. So the way we build is slightly different, but he has different qualities. He can drive with the ball. And sometimes it's the connections with Hector and Artie and two-touch, one-touch soccer. Sometimes he's just more improv, and he also has that power to drive into the midfield and put himself in situations where he's now past defenders and into spots where he can play the ball. And that's one of his great qualities in the midfield, or when we play him out wide and he comes in. It's also one of the great qualities he has in the holding spot. So I thought he put a really good shift in. I didn't know he got both assists, but that's good for him. Anything else?
Last one.
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Kowalczyk was all over the field tonight.
Yeah.
How important is to have somebody like him?
Well, he's just got a great engine. He's such a good competitor. So I was really proud that he put that type of shift on for us. Yeah, he's been a good soldier, and he's a guy now that took a little while to adjust to this team, but he's a real piece for us. And whether he's starting or coming off the bench, he's had a great year, and it's nice to have him out there.
What? Go to Moses.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win. The defense played a major factor tonight, but not allowing an open play goal. How important is that to make a deep run in the postseason?
Yeah, our defense is still, as I've said many times, is where we hang our hat on. Sometimes we get some credit for some of the build-up play and some of the aesthetics of the offensive side, but really we're a defensive team, and we can defend with the ball, but we also have a really good, I think, back four. Artie and Coco are doing a good job. Steve had a great night, as I said. We rode our luck quite a bit, and Steve was in the right spot more times than not tonight. But it's a collective effort. Everybody's doing their part, and I thought that was lacking in the first half, frankly. We were just not doing some of the little things that make us a good defensive team, and it should have cost us a few. So we'll get back to work and show them that and make sure we understand when we're good and when we're not up to snuff. So, but second half, it turned up. We were defensively better.
It seems easy to get into the final third, but it seems like there's probably too many passes being made on top where there's an open shot. What do you plan on implementing?
I don't know. You guys always talk about shooting, and yeah, we can shoot more, but again, the extra pass just has to be the right extra pass, and it's got to have quality. There were some tough decisions tonight in the final third, as there are always. It's part of soccer. You get in there, and it gets tough, and so we're getting there with that stuff. But it's always something that we work on constantly, weekly. We're always working on final third stuff. We understand that it's not always our biggest strength, and this year we've had some moments where it hasn't been good, but today we got enough chances. Today wasn't a final ball or lack of shooting. It was, we had 22 shots, 8 on target. That's enough. That's enough to score a lot of goals. So shots inside the box, 16. So this is tonight. I think it was just a matter of putting it in the net. Well, there's been some days where it hasn't been great.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Herman behind.
Hey, man, congrats on the
Thanks,
win.
Herman.
I want to know, do you know a status on Daniel's status injury he sustained, like a little bang?
Steris?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be fine.
Okay.
He'll be fine.
Perfect.
He did take a knock, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tried to get through it, but we brought Tate in for him. I think Tate did a good job. It was nice to see some subs on. Junior Moreno comes on.
That was my next
Yeah,
question.
I knew it was. So I think it's one of those where it was nice to get him on the field just to get his feet wet with the crew, and I think he did a good job. Tate came on. Ethan Mackenzie gave us some good minutes of pushing that, pushing their line back. He's obviously a speedster, is dangerous on the attack, yeah, but put a good shift in defensively as well. So all subs came on and did a good job, I thought.
Then my last question is, you touched on the false nine not being as effective
Yeah.
to start the game. What went into that decision? Because you had a healthy Sebas.
Some of it was energy. You know,
Mhm.
Seb hasn't had a lot of 90-minute games, and he just had one in Seattle. So we went with Seb Kowalczyk instead. Latif had to come into the game, and we wanted higher energy. And I think it would have worked if we just, again, picked out a few passes that would have hurt them for their aggression. The runs were there, and we
With
just
Aliyu?
yeah, with Ibra, but we had some big chances in the first half too. So did they. So it was always going to be a back and forth because they had to win the game, and as I said, they're desperate and they're going to push this game and they're going to press us, and they did a very good job. And in some ways, we're lucky to get the 3 points, but again, we've played very, very well in this building and not taken all 3 points. So this is just fine with me.
I do want to sneak another one in. In the second half, the Dynamo were more aggressive. The attack looked crisper. But in the back end, Mikael was essentially the sweeper, especially on those set pieces, those counterattacks. He stopped, or
Yeah.
it was a 2v1, and then Coco hustling back on a different occasion, like 5 minutes
Our
later.
transitions were not good tonight. We were so exposed on wide set pieces, corners. That's something we really need to address. And when you make subs, sometimes signals get crossed and guys don't necessarily know where they are. So we got to do a better job with that. There was way too many transition moments that we had to put out the fire. Part of it is they are desperate, and they're just throwing numbers forward. And you counter that sometimes by scoring 3-4 goals and hurting them for their aggression. That the chances were there in the second half to do that, but we didn't. We didn't see it out in that way. So then you end up, bunkering down, and you have to deal with the last 5-10 minutes in the way we did. But we hung in there. It wasn't perfect. I'm not going to stick up for the performance today or my decisions, but I will say this group is gutsy, and they found a way to win on a day where maybe we weren't at our best.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, guys.
All right, wrap it up there. Thanks,
All
man.
right.